Yo, what's up, everybody? Matty Ice here with Profit Props. This is the sharp side. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate all the retweets already. Shout outs to Night Fox and shout outs to Props.cash for liking the retweets. Appreciate y'all helping me grow the brand, helping me grow the page. Wait for a few comments to come in. Wait for everybody to get in before we get into today's slate. I got one bet out for the NBA, a ladder out for the NFL, and then a straight out for the NFL. That line has moved a little bit. Yo, Parker, appreciate you tapping in. All right, so as always, we will recap yesterday first. 1 points, 20 rebounds. Jalen Durant under 23.5. The big reason we played that was we were expecting some foul trouble out of him. Maybe not necessarily getting ejected in the first half, but that's exactly what happens. So that cash with ease. And then Luka was the easiest money we've ever made. Both lines over 30.5 cashed in the first half, over 3.5 threes cashed very early in the second quarter. So huge day there. That brings us up to about 5.15 units of profit in the NBA. And we missed 2 plays in OT, 2 unders. So I feel like we should be up 10 units, but I'm not going to complain about the 5.5. Let's get into the NBA now. We've got a nice 5-game slate. Let me pull up the odds here. I'm a little upset we don't have any early basketball, but for those college football heads, you got all day to kind of get ready for the NBA. Both of these are player prop lines. 1 second. Let me get the regular odds up. We've got Chicago and Atlanta at 7. I got Shedeur Sanders questionable for week 8. Well, he wasn't playing anyways. All right, so we got Bulls Magic 7 p.m. Magic's a 6-point favorite at home. We've got Thunder Hawks. Thunder have played a lot of games this early into the season. 6.5-point favorites on the road versus the Hawks. 76ers are 5-point favorites at home versus the Hornets. Grizzlies are basically a pick'em versus Indiana at home, and then the Nuggets are 12-point favorites versus the Suns. I probably won't have anything in that. I do lean under, though, in Nikola Jokic already. All right, let's jump right into the Chicago-Orlando game. As I said earlier, I do have one play here. I played Buzele's over, 16.5 points. Lock this in at even money. I think it's good at all the way up to minus 125. This one, I just played it, so I expect it to be available still everywhere. Everyone's high on this kid coming into the season. I think we get this low of a line because Orlando does have a good defensive team. But if you look at his threes, the market's at 2.5, super juiced to the over, but if you look at the 1.5, it's super juiced to the over. And I think we're going to get more volume and more production out of him. It's not like he had no volume. 3 attempts. I think we could see even a few more than that in this game. Played 33 minutes. If he plays 33 minutes per game, we'll be playing this 16.5 versus any matchup, especially until Kobe White returns. Vucevic did have a good game. I think his matchup's a little tougher. I think Franz probably guards Matas, where Wendell or I'm not sure exactly who Orlando is going to throw at Vucevic. I'm going to assume it's Wendell first. And then I don't know if Franz or Paolo will guard Buzele's. The other will end up on Isaac Okoro. That being said, I absolutely love this spot for Matas. First play of the NBA board today. Had some thoughts. My issues here is I kind of leaned over Vooch and I kind of leaned over Giddey. Vucevic, you see 28 in that first matchup. That's going against Jalen Durant. Now, I will say Durant dealt with foul trouble in that game as well. So he had plenty of minutes versus the Detroit backup. But I do lean over here. Head-to-head is not good versus Orlando, though, as you can see. Minutes were not exactly up either. I do believe a couple of these games ended in a blowout loss for them last season. So nothing official there, just some leans to the over for Nikola Vucevic. Also, I thought his threes carried a little bit of value. I don't necessarily love it at minus 138. 7, 4, 3, and 6 were his attempts last year. Keep in mind, Kobe White's gone. Buzele's is having an error, taking over a bigger role. So I just don't know how to spot Vooch here. I'd like to see the Bulls play 3 or 4 times before I'm just spraying the board, but I do lean over there. Josh Giddey was another one. I leaned over his points. There were some even monies and plus monies. Looks like there's still 1 plus money, and Pinnacle's close to even money on this line. You can see he had just 19 in the first game. Usage percentage was good, though. 32% usage, which I think is a really good sign for us. Just 28 minutes. Let Let me go see what the score was in this game. One second, I got to log in to this other app. Do-do-do, do-do-do. One second here. Now we're here. I gotta find. It won by 4 versus Detroit. Giddey only played 28 minutes. Did he deal with foul trouble? 29 minutes, really. 5 fouls. Yeah, foul trouble was the biggest issue. I lean over Giddey here. I think his minutes could absolutely go up. Tough matchup. Orlando is a very good defensive team. I'm not taking that away from them. I think this is a decent lotto spot. I really do. I don't know that he'll average a usage rate of 30% on the season. That's up there with the top of the league. But I do think it's fair to expect, especially until we see Coby White return. Without Coby White, yeah, I just think this number's soaring this season. 32 is too high, but I think 27, 28% usage is going to be a fine spot to place Giddey tonight. Tyus over RA since Suggs is out per coach. Always been a fan of Tyus. Oh, shit. Brothers are going up head-to-head, too. And then good looks, Night Fox. Let me see if I can find anything on that. Also, appreciate you, Chewy and Night Fox, for the like. If you're watching this on X, drop a like, drop a retweet. Help me grow to brand, help me grow to page. Coming off a 4-0 day, plus 5 units on the season. I'm not seeing where did you see that, Night Fox? I've got Coby White out. Orlando yet to submit. That was 2 hours ago, though. Underdog. Okay, if Suggs is out, then I do like maybe even a threes. They're going to miss Cole Anthony while Suggs is out. That's for sure. Yo, Money Making Ron, appreciate you tapping in. Unlikely to play Saturday. Okay, that is the news. Shout outs to our guy Night Fox. I know he's not a shooter. Well, he's not an aggressive player. That's what I should have said. I mean, if he's going to get extended run with what's the starting lineup projected for Orlando? Yeah, Tyus Jones is a projected starter. I like Tyus Jones overs. I'm a big fan of his game. True point guard, can shoot, but he's not selfish at all. His threes are too pricey. That was the first place my head went with extended minutes. I think PAs is a good pivot, though. Was that Night Fox that asked about that? You like the RAs. I kind of lean PAs, Night Fox, but I'm not mad at either of those. I've got a 120 at Hard Rock. I've got a 120 at ESPN. Looks like 125s at DK Caesars ESPN on just the points. Let's go look at the PAs. 13.5 at some books, while 14.5 at the other. Looks like you're getting market support. I'm not mad at Tyus points or points and assists over. It's early season. Y'all know I'm not forcing shit yet. I'm not mad at it. Extended minutes, he's probably closer to 25, 26 minutes here. I mean, he could even play up into the 30, well, like low 30s. Who's their backup one since Tyus is down? Who's going to be the backup ball handler? Yeah, I like Tyus overs. PAs is the way I would lean, though. Trey Jones. They both go to Duke. A little bit of brother battle there. Paolo, 24, just 11 in the last game versus Atlanta. Was that last night? Yes. Baltimore. I don't know where my head's at there. Orlando is on a back-to-back. How did he perform in back-to-backs last year? Over this number just twice. Now let's see if those were with or without Franz, too. Those were all with Franz. Okay. Surprising. Chicago, not a good defensive team. Honestly, though, they've been horrendous in the restricted area so far this season, and Paolo's been cooking in the restricted area. My heart tells me Paolo under, but my brain says lean off. My heart says Paolo under, but my brain says lean off. So we're going to stay off. Under in both this season, obviously probably due to bounce back a little bit. This isn't a bad spot to bounce back in. So I'm going to stay off of there, stay off of Paolo. But I do lean over there. Or I'm sorry, I lean under. Franz with 24 and 27 to start the season. What I will say is it's been a pretty even distribution of field goal attempts. Franz 17 and 17. Paolo 17 and 15, and then Bane 18 and 14. So Paolo he had the fewest shots by one the first game and then led everyone in the next game. I do think it's going to be a pretty even distribution. Bane's usage level dropped a lot. We talked about that. 30% in the first game, 23% in the second game, which is still good. And I think on the season he'll fall right somewhere in between that. I don't hate the assists for Chicago. I don't hate his assists for Chicago. What are his threes? Oh, I'm not paying that price. Nothing official on Bane. Like I said, we're still working our way into the season. I'm not forcing. 4-0 day yesterday. Probably leaned on. We could grade the lean sheet, actually. There it was. I know Grady Dick would have missed. Trey would have cashed. Paolo would have missed. Dante would have cashed because we were going to take threes instead. I think Brunson PRA overs would have missed. Cam Thomas would have cashed. I think Porzingis sat. So we would have sounds like we would have split the leans and went 4-0 in the plays. So we're probably going to try to keep it tight today as well. Again, I like him to get 2 threes. I don't like that at minus 177. Blah, 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 blah. I still don't like it. So I'm going to move on from this Chicago game. Just the one official play. Buzele's over 16.5 points. Have some leans, but that's going to be my only official. Moving on to OKC versus Atlanta. I believe OKC's coming off of 1-day rest. Atlanta is on a back-to-back. Porzingis just didn't play the last game, correct? Yes. Porzingis, a more interesting matchup today. If he starts at the 5, Hart will start on him. Chet will start on Jalen Johnson. Yeah, that would be how I expect it. Porzingis is questionable, though. So is Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson did play last game. He did. We saw his assist numbers drop drastically last game. his being Jalen Johnson. Minutes were down to I'm wondering if he dealt with some foul trouble. Yes, he did. 5 fouls there as well. I wouldn't buy too much into that. I think it was just foul trouble related. But you can see his assists went down. 8 the first game, 1 the last game. Potentials maybe 0. Oh my gosh, Lamar Jackson will not play. Fantasy starting quarterback. Ugh. Shout outs Woody for the like. I appreciate you, bro. Help me grow the brand. Man, that sucks. Lamar Jackson is out. I'll just go ahead and leak it. I bet his over 27.5 rushing yards. Was going to release it. Thought it was good at the current price at 31.5. He's out. So there goes that whole idea. Shea, I think he has a great opportunity to score a bunch of points tonight. That being said, he is coming off of a 55-point outing just 2 nights ago, 35 on opening night. Keep in mind they've played overtimes in each of these games. I believe it was a double and a single, or it might have been a double-double. Either way, I've lost bread on unders in both of these OKC games because they've gone to overtime. If they just wrap shit up in regulation, I'm up 10 units instead of 5. I digress. Terry McLaurin, Debo Samuel both will play. I mean, that's good news. Debo's on my fantasy as well. Nothing official on Shea's points. I feel like this assist number is a little too high for Shea. Lord have mercy. I've got to play this. Hard Rock, MGM, or Caesars. I'm good at the 134. It's minus 115. We got to play it. We got to go. If you have Hard Rock, play it. If not, go to MGM and play it. If you can't get down at MGM, go to Caesars. The 134 is still good. Don't go over 134. All right, let me just go see if MGM's there for my subs. But yeah, you got to run that. Hard Rock, MGM, wherever you can get it. NBA 7.5 is just too high. I feel like this is a better scoring spot for him. That's why his points line is at 77 or 33.5. Yeah, at 125 at MGM. Get that in at one of those two places. Absolutely love that Shea under. Please don't go to overtime. Fuck. All right, moving on. Trae Young. So we're still waiting on Jalen Johnson and Porzingis in this one. I hope Porzingis is good to go. I think it was an illness again. I mean, he looked good in the first game. OKC, on the other hand, Chet, Kaysen, Caruso, all questionable. No, Caruso's out. Chet and Kaysen Wallace both questionable. Kaysen Wallace started and then missed a game, I believe. We tried to bet his overs last game. He sat out, so we'll have to look into that. Chet, questionable. Probably good for Jalen Johnson if he's not able to go. And then J-Dub, been out. Hopefully he's not out too much longer, but he is going to miss this game as well. Pretty massive injury report on the OKC side of the ball here. But, I mean, actually 2 very key pieces for Atlanta as well. I think the only thing I really want to get out in front of is that Shea's under. I think with the rest of the board, I want to see how it shakes. Yeah, that's going to be all I have for this game. We're going to have to wait and see the injury news the rest of the way around. Moving on into the Philly game. Wait a second. Let me add that to the banner. All right, the big question is Joel Embiid, and I think maybe VJ Edgecombe, who looked amazing in his opener. I'm not touching Embiid anything. We talked about it in the Discord this morning about possibility of a double-double. I think it was around even money. The thing is, it's plus 270. My apologies. Plus 300 offshore. Minutes, minutes. He did not look good in the 20 minutes he provided last game. Charlotte is a terrible team. I think they're probably like fourth, fifth worst team in the league. So it's a good bounce back spot for him. But I can't trust Philly. I can't trust Joel Embiid specifically until we've seen him play a handful of games and defined what his role really is. One thing I do like is LaMelo's over. I think he's in an easier matchup than Brooklyn, who really likes to blitz point guards and get the ball out of their hands. You can see LaMelo had 8 assists in that game off just 12 potentials. He was getting his guys into open spots. I think points is a better matchup versus Charlotte. I don't think they blitz as often. Or versus Philly. I'm sorry, not Charlotte. So yeah, I like LaMelo's over points. I like his over threes. I think I saw, there was more than one plus money this morning. So this appears to be trending towards the over. I lean over LaMelo's points in threes. Just think he's in a better spot to score than he was versus Brooklyn. Also, I think this game should stay competitive. The only game that was really a large spread was that last game, Denver at home versus the Nuggets. And I probably won't have much in that one. LaMelo, I'm going to leave as an over for now. Let's go look at the market, but lean over threes and points. I'm probably going to leave it at that. Threes, I see a minus 06, minus 05, minus 05. A couple minus 05s out there. FanDuel's at minus 06. And then for points, 22.5 juice to the over. Yeah, this one is bumping. I probably should have just played it earlier this morning. You do have an MGM kind of falling behind at 22.5, minus 125. You also have Pinnacle, a sharp offshore book at minus 118. I think they're taking a nickel. So there's some options there to the mellow over. I've definitely missed the best of it. I'll probably leave it as a lean unless we see some reverse line movement later in the day. But I lean over, nothing official. So appreciate the retweet. Help me grow the brand. Help me grow the page. I got something coming with y'all with Sosa. I'm not sure when we're dropping it, but it's coming soon. Some top tier NBA content, not just betting content. Maxi or VJ, y'all know. Well, Parker, I don't know if you've been tapped in. Everybody's got different Discords, Twitters, X, YouTubes, but those of you that do know me know I don't really bet rookies until 4 or 5 games in. That's even true for the NFL. I am outwardly, if they don't play for WVU, like I know Javon Smalls on Memphis, if they don't play for WVU, I don't have a good read on these rookies coming into the regular season. I basically followed WVU throughout the college season, and then not going to lie, I just front run on first half unders in the tournament, especially the first couple of weeks. And that's about as much as my college basketball knowledge goes. I love watching it, but I just like the NBA more. Love the NBA. So I don't have a lot to say on VJ other than he went stupid opening night. 34 points. I was out here saying he's better than not saying he's better than Cooper Flag, but I raised the question. So we'll see. We'll see how VJ looks tonight. When you ask about Maxey specifically, I don't hate the Maxey over. Where the fuck is Maxey? 27.5. Probably a little higher than I want it to be. He did have 40 opening night in 41 minutes. That's encouraging. Usage percent, I think, stays around that number. I don't know that he's always going 7 for 9 from 3, obviously. I just want to see his field goal attempts. 24. I think that number is a little higher than we'll see on a nightly basis, but I don't know if it's outrageously higher. If you asked me to pick between one of the two of them, I'm probably going Maxey, but it's no shade to VJ. I'm not touching this threes, though. Maxey at 3.5 is no, not touching that. Brandon Miller, is this his second or third season? Either way, he's developing into a really good NBA player. I think his points are probably fair. This is where I think he'll fall into as an average this season. Average 21 last year. Keep in mind, Bridges missed games, Ball missed games. So it'll also depend on what his role is based on who's healthy around him. But this 19.5 line, probably just see it as efficient, nothing extra. I do think that this threes line is a little inflated as well. 2.5 minus 120. I think you talked me into it, but 3.5. If anything, I'm leaning towards that under minus 150. That under minus 148 opposed to the over for Brandon Miller's threes. Kelly Olynyk just got to find his role. PG's out for a while, but Edgecombe looked like a dog last game. What is Kelly Oubre's role going to be? Played 33, 34 minutes last game. Is he always going to be there? I don't hate Kelly Oubre threes overs. If he's a 6 attempt per night player until Paul George comes back, I like it. But with Edgecombe looking so good, I don't know what that rotation is going to be like. VJ's, they're not even deep around them, though. So let's go look at it. Julian Edwards I have as probable. Edgecombe starting at the 2. He's definitely tall enough to play some 3. Yeah, I lean over Kelly's threes here. Nothing official here, but I do lean over Kelly Oubre's threes. Probably the closest I've came to a play so far. Interested to see what Sexton's minutes looks like. He had 17 minutes in that first game, scored 14 points. I like him in this role behind LaMelo Ball. While he's not the shooter, he's still obviously very capable of playing with pace, better defender, brings energy. I'd rather see him on a contender, but I think he's got potential to put up some points. If you play DFS specifically, I don't mean like prize picks, like specifically DFS. I think there'll be some spots this season where he's going to have a bunch of boom potential. Pardon me. That being said, nothing tonight. Quentin Grimes, y'all know I love Quentin Grimes, betting on Quentin Grimes. He got 31 minutes last game. And I was curious if he was going to start. They didn't start him. I actually like him even more coming off the bench, running the second unit. Not betting anything here, but a player I'm keeping my eye on. He also may get traded, and would not be surprised at all if we see Grimes traded before the end of the season. All right, Indiana, Memphis, a lot going on here. Memphis on a back-to-back. Indy's either on a back-to-back. No, they played 2 days ago. All right, let's talk about injuries. McConnell been out. Hallie out for the season. Murphy game time decision. Kai Jones out. Jackson out. Nembhard out. For Memphis, Jerome's out. Scotty's out. Clark's is out. Williams is out. Eddie's out. Two pretty banged up teams. Memphis coming off the back-to-back. I don't know a lot about this. Oh, hold on. Kalkbrenner's rebounds. I did not go over that. Yeah, he's a rookie too, though. You asked about rebounds. He had 11 in that first one. Embiid's probably only playing 20, 21 minutes. I'm not mad at it. I don't bet rookies, but I'm not mad at it. Indiana, Memphis, super beat-up teams. Jaws lines at 25.5. I kind of like that because they're going to play with crazy pace. Yeah, and they got smoked last night. That's right. Like a 40 – I think they did end up closing the gap maybe down to the high 20s, but they were getting absolutely smoked by Miami. So Ja did only play 21, 22 minutes, 4 3-point attempts. His usage was still over 36%. He had 16 field goal attempts in 21 minutes. So if he plays 30-32, what was the score of that New Orleans game? Let's find that out. Because he hasn't ran a lot of minutes in any game this year. They won by 6, and he still only played 29 minutes. Interesting. Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Ja is are we going to see him playing 32, 33, 34 minutes? Last year he averaged 30. Remember, they were pretty cautious with him coming back from the injury. So I think they're going to be slow with him to start the season here as well. I would lean over. What's the 25? Yeah, I really like a 25 plus. Yeah, I lean over. Obviously, Indiana plays with such a pace, while Memphis plays with pace as well. Actually, let's go see. This got to be the highest total on the board. Maybe the highest one we've seen this season. 237.5. Okay, there's 232. Wow. 3 different games listed at 237.5, 238.5. I guess it makes sense, though. OKC, Atlanta, and then Hornets, 76ers, just no defense. So a lot of high-scoring games today. Should be a good day for overprops. I lean over for Ja. I'm worried about the minutes, though. If he's playing like sub 32, it's getting sketchier and sketchier. But I still don't hate it. I think there's 6. Oh, yeah, no, this was the game that was a pick'em. Man, I lean over Ja. I'd love to say he gets his minutes pushed. I might come back to Ja. Ja is a very strong lean. Let's move on to Pascal. A couple players on this side of the ball I want to talk about. Pascal, Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin. You see Mathurin's line shot up a bunch. We were able to get this at 18.5 on opening night. Now this line's as high as 22.5, juice to the over. Rick Carlisle did everything we said he needed to do. Keep in mind this was an overtime game. But Mathurin got a bunch of shots, a bunch of minutes on the floor, a very high usage percentage at 28.7%. I think Indiana needs to continue to do that if they want to be some kind of a play-in team this season. As you saw, 45 minutes, 29% usage. I think 10 super conservative on our field goal attempts. Oh, yeah. Still lean over. That line's moved a lot. I don't hate like a 25 plus in a lotto, though. I don't hate the straight over, but you definitely missed the best number by now. Let me see. 125. Oh. Hold on. If DK is at minus 03, we probably will give him some work. Philip, what's good? Appreciate you tapping in. I'll go over Pascal next. Benedict Mathurin. Player points. Pascal 21 and a. Oh, I'm looking for Benedict Mathurin. 22.5 minus 03, dude. 05 available at ESPN. I thought this was just juice to the max. It's not. 05 available at MGM, 115 available at Rivers, 114 available. Is Fanatics at 21.5? Player points. If this is here, I mean, I gotta play this. I think the 21.5 minus 03. No, they're at 22.5 minus 115. Okay. I'm pretty. I've got some pretty good conviction over here. A lot of pace. Who's the matchup? Caldwell Pope. Not a bad defender. Not a bad defender. He's a pretty decent defender if we're keeping it a buck. Man, I really like this 22.5 minus 05. All right, at minimum, I'm writing this one down, and we'll come back to it. There's another one I meant to go over earlier and didn't. We talked about Tyus Jones. I meant to look at Trey Jones' assists and forgot to. Mathurin. All right, we'll come back to Mathurin. Might be an ad at the end of the stream. Pascal, 32 points in that first game. Keep in mind overtime, but he did have a very high usage percentage as well at 30%. Matchup for Pascal should be, it'll probably be Jaren Jackson Jr. It's a tough matchup. Under in both matchups last year, 30 and 28. Granted, different role. I'll stay off Siakam. I lean more so Bennedict Mathurin, although they've both got kind of tough defensive matchups. I don't hate. I would lean over if I had to lean over, but I'd rather just stay off of Siakam's points. It's a difficult matchup, but it's going to be a very high-paced game, so I see that aspect of it. If this one got ugly, maybe some Jalen Wells minutes, but nothing off the rip. Obi had a 20 ball off the bench. 0 for 8 from 3. Easily could have had a better night. We spoke on Obi pre-stream last game too. I think this is my biggest problem with Indianapolis. Nobody clearly paved a way for their role because everyone played well. Obi played well, out of his mind. 0 for 8 from 3 and still had a good game. Mathurin was everything I wanted him to be in that game. Pascal put up a 30 ball. I couldn't play any of their unders, but my favorite is Bennedict Mathurin. And what is Obi's threes line, low key? Say it's got a plus in front of it. I think there's value at this minus 120. Let that thing sing last game. Over in every game with 30-plus minutes. He played last season, and he played 40 last game. Overtime, but that's only 5 minutes. Even doubles only 10. I don't think he played all of each. I like Obi Toppin's threes. I like Bennedict Mathurin's points, and I lean Obi Toppin's threes in this one. I'm actually going to write that one down too. We might come back to that one. We've got a big NFL stream to get through as well. So real quick, I'll go over Phoenix. Only real thought I have is a Jokic triple-double. Obviously, got it 2 nights ago. We were sweating that. We had the anytime triple-double. I think it was a lay piece, but he also had a couple threes. Keep in mind, Aaron Gordon went stupid for them opening night. His line's at 16.5, 10 for 11 from 3, 21 field goal attempts. I don't know if he settles into that role all season. Going against Denver, this one could get ugly early. Maybe a Cam bounce back game. I'm going to say nothing in this 12-point spread for me. Nothing in this 12-point spread for me. Got those 2 official NBA bets. I've also got 3 here I'm leaning on. Trey Jones over assists. Bennedict Mathurin over 3. No. Over points. And then Obi Toppin over threes. 3 leans. I'll come back to those, but let's go ahead and move over to the NFL. First game, Giants Cincinnati. Just one play for me in this one. I took Jamar Chase over his receiving yards, and then I also laddered this up to 100 plus. I love this spot. It's all about the targets here for me. 10 targets in every game with Joe Burrow. Over and 6 of his last 9 with that many targets. And the Jets haven't been able to stop anybody this year, even if Cincinnati jumps out to a big lead. I think that's large in part due to Chase just getting a crazy workload in the front half. Obviously, for the Jets, you really don't know who the starting quarterback's going to be. I think Justin Fields gets the – did they already announce it's Tyrod Taylor? Okay, no surprises there. I thought maybe Fields would get a possession or two. I've been pretty tapped into the NBA, so I must have missed that news. I don't know. Does that help like a Breece Hall? I think you got to try to get him involved. But at the end of the day, you also knew you're losing him this offseason. I don't think they're going to franchise tag him. And with all the trade news, he doesn't want to be there. So you lose Breece Hall this year. But honestly, if you're the Jets, you might just be trying to win a game, dog. You might just be trying to win a game. Mason Taylor has a little chuck down. Oh no, I definitely have some ads. I try to get through almost everything here, but like with the NBA specifically, a 4:00 injury pops up, that changes everything. 3:00 Eastern injury pops up, 6:00, 7:00. So impossible to give everything away on stream. Stay posted though. I got a website coming out where you'll be able to get everything. Just taking me a little longer than I thought. Anyways, getting back to the game, Mason Taylor, I do like the overs here, but outside of that, nothing I really want to attack in this game. Buffalo, Carolina, let me add Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase over is a play. Now, on this one, when I say ladder to 100, I did not go 85.5, 90, 100. The 90 was like even money. So I just went 85.5 over, and then I took the 100 plus at a quarter unit. So that's how I attacked that game. Moving on to the Buffalo, Carolina. Carolina's rush defense has been not bad this year, especially with them being behind in some games. Now, they did allow like 100 and something to ETN. 143 to ETN on opening night. And then I think there was one other decent game. 72 out of Bijan Robinson. Outside of those two, though, they've been holding running back specifically under their line. New England, just 49 versus New England. New England's got an incredible defense. And then 44, Josh Allen just had to throw it a bunch here. Outside of that, you see 132, 108, 117, and 87. I do lean over here for James Cook. Let's go see how the markets move. Not really moved at all. 71.5 at FanDuel and DraftKings, both at minus 114 to the over. No big 116 to the over. 113. Oh, that's 72.5 at Rivers. So let's talk about some of these games that have gone under, right? Shitty team. Threw the ball a lot. Shitty team. Shitty run game. Recorded 72. Injured backup. Not even good, but went for 143. Actually, after this game, I thought he was going to have a really good season, but did I just talk myself into the James Cook over? I do lean over Higgins. I'm not mad at anything receiving on the Cincinnati side of the ball. I don't believe in Chase Brown. I believe it's Samaje Perine as the backup there. I think there's a rookie too. No faith in that Cincinnati run game. I'm okay with all overs. I just like Chase the best. Also, Noah Fant, I think, could be sneaky there. He's like the second or third string behind Andrea. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. James Cook overs. Man, I think I've talked myself into this. Like, yes, they've held some running backs under that line, but a lot of them have been ass and not positive game scripts. What's the game script in this game? Buffalo 7.5 point favorites. I mean, they have played well, and I do believe Andy Dalton. Oh, just announced actually right now, Justin Fields will start. Just announced right now, Justin Fields will start. James, appreciate the like and the retweet, brother. Appreciate it very much. Help me grow the brand. I appreciate it. YouTube and Twitch links are in the thread below as well. I'm running it. I'm running James Cook over 71.5 minus 114 at FanDuel. Do 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 do. We still got to use up our bonus bet too from Trey Harris. Shout outs Trey Harris. Shout outs the anytime touchdown jackpot. $70 plus is minus 130. I don't think that's worth the difference in price. Let me go check all alts just to be safe though. Cook. James Cook. Rush yards. Line. Minus 126 at DraftKings, though, might be worth the difference. And I think either's fine. Yeah, 126 is fine. Either way, I'm running the 126, but either's fine. Yeah, I think that one's good too, about 74.5. Love that spot. Obviously, Dowdle and Hubbard been playing a little bit of back and forth. I think whoever's having the better game gets the nod. So keep that in mind. McMillan, I don't hate McMillan on overs, duds in the last two. I do believe Andy Dalton's starting. So they've got no time together. I saw everybody was on Jalen Cocker last week. He was the 2 last year. If Andy Dalton's there, they've got some time together. I don't hate Jalen Cocker. Did he? 37% of snaps last week. So Coker, whatever, however you say his name. But no opinions there from me, really, on any receiving props in this game. Going to move on from Buffalo, Carolina, just the one there. And then this is like a auto bet. Bucky Irving put a 50 ball up on him week 2. Kyron Williams to 3 receiving. I was looking for Russian receiving. Charbonnet 55, Walker 66, both went over last week. Pollard 76, just under his line. Bucky 121, Rachaad White 66, both went over. And that's it for this year. I'm going to go to mobile real quick. I don't hate Mooney receiving yards. Actually, I was talking to one of my old betting partners today, and he said the same thing. Props.cash. Oh, man, I do like CMC. I don't know if I like his rush or his rush and receiving better. His receptions at 5.5 feel diabolically low, too. Like, yeah, some of these players have went under, but none of them are like receiving backs like CMC. Charbonnet got 2. Pollard got 3. White got 2. Bucky Irving had 6. Houston's defense has allowed a lot of lines inside the 10 and behind the line of scrimmage, and that's where CMC is getting most of his work. Receptions might be to move. He is the offense, right? So I'm definitely liking CMC over something. Justin Edwards available to play today for 76ers. Jalen Suggs officially listed out. Good call on whoever said that earlier. Shout outs, Brian, for the like. I appreciate you helping me grow the brand, brother. Damn. Where is my rush and receiving? So reception's the best number I have. 03 at Rivers. FanDuel's 06, still good to go. 43.5 is the best line on his over receiving yards. That's at FanDuel as well. Rush and receiving, FanDuel 115. That's the best as well. Although that's kind of painted. FanDuel, Fanatics, Hard Rock, MGM. I'm leaving this as a strong lean for now, but don't be surprised if you see CMC over 5.5 receptions on here. He's the whole offense. Now, National Tight End Day, George Kittle coming off of an absolute stinker. Hasn't really got it going all year. Injured the first game. He did have 4 catches in that game. I do not hate a George Kittle get right spot. Keep in mind, Nico Collins is out tonight. Where's the Atlanta game? Okay, yeah. Nico Collins and Christian Kirk are both out. So the backup wide receivers back up. Like Hutchinson maybe gets a bump. I think Schultz obviously gets a bump, but his line kind of reflects that. He had 77 last week. Jalen Noel, that might be your best look there, actually. Yeah, not a lot for me on that Houston. Both of these teams are really beat up though, so nothing from me there. I do have one look or lean here, although I think Saquon is finally due to break one. What I'm more looking at here, I like Devontae Smith overs, 183 last week, 114 2 weeks ago. Everything I'm seeing is A.J. Brown, yeah, officially out. So I just think the targets are going to be there. Last year without A.J. Over in both games. How far back are we going here? 2022. Data's not really worth anything. Last year, 10 targets in both games without him. So let's just go like 7+ targets. Over in 16 of his last 18 with 7 or more targets. I know this line feels inflated, but definitely lean over Devontae Smith. Also, his anytime touchdown plus 145. Can we beat that? 155 at Caesars. I do lean over here as well, but I like the yards a little bit better. On the Giants side of the ball, ever since Start's taken over, I don't hate like a Scam Cataboo Russian receiving over. Yeah, he's over that in 5 straight. actually don't hate that. Hold on. $79.5 available at many places. 76.5 available at Rivers. I'm going to go run the Rivers number. I think they're all playable. NFL. Why are you not the first thing? Player rushing and receiving. Scatterboo. Yep, lock that in. Bop, bop, bop. All right, let me add that to the banner and get that out real quick. All right, cool. We got that in. I think that one's good to 82, 83.5. So every line, every line is good to go there. Moving on to the Cleveland New England game. This one Cleveland's got a great defense. New England 7-point favorites. The defense will have to keep him in this one. Drake Mays played out of his mind, although there's nothing I really want to attack versus this. And then Quinshon Judkins, he's been amazing, but I still think to this day no receivers had 50 or running backs had 50 versus them this season. That was last year. Yeah, just not a good spot to attack Judkins in this one. Receivers, maybe a Hunter Henry, National Tight End Week, but not a game. Two really good defenses, not a game I'm really looking to attack. Nothing jumping off the board. Lamar's now out, so Chicago has a very good chance. I think this changes a lot of things. Honestly, lines are probably pretty locked up, so we're going to move on from the Chicago-Baltimore game just in general. Miami, Atlanta, I don't hate Tua unders. Tua's most likely, if he does not play well out the gate, I would not be surprised if he's benched. So anything under Tua, I like. Bijan, I mean, let's just go look at running backs, what they've done. 84, 124, 206, 108. That number is so crazy. The crazy thing is I think he's going for like 100 rushing, 45 receiving, but is this line too high to play? 87.5 at FanDuel looks like the best rushing line, and that feels attainable versus this defense. Never played Miami, huh? Well, I'll tell you right now, if he has 4 receptions, he's going for 40 yards. I'm guessing the touchdown's like minus 235. I swear to you, I swear on everything I love, I didn't look at that. I swear on everything I love, I didn't look at that. Wow. How do I clip shit? Because I got to clip that one. What the fuck? Wow. I don't know how to clip shit, but that was pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm not running it at that price. Man, I want to be on Bijan in some way, shape, or form, and reception yards is the closest thing for me. 38 and a half, 37 and a half available at quite a few books, 37, 36 and a half at Prop Builder, 35 and a half at Bookmaker. There's a couple out there. That's the closest thing for me. Let me go look at something else real quick on the app. '27th most receiving yards allowed to running backs. The most rushing yards allowed to running backs. The most rushing receiving combined allowed to running backs. Fuck. That line is so high. I'm going to move on from Bijan, but don't, if you see a write-up by the end of the week, do not be surprised. I do not hate the Mooney look. See what we got going on over here. Algier questionable, even better for Bijan. Look into Mooney a little bit more here. $38.5 at some Canby books, 37 at Bookmaker, 35 maybe at Fanatics. Targets last week. He did have 5 last week. 83% of the snaps. Was Drake London out for that game? No, Drake London played. He had 8 to his 11. It's the only time he's out targeted him. I don't know. I don't hate it. I think that line's kind of high. Oh, that's for okay. I honestly think I might, if I wanted to run Darnell Mooney, I think I'd probably go longest reception. Because this game could get into like a really bad blowout, and you're not seeing many not a high snap percentage out of him out of the fourth quarter, going like 12-man, 13-man sets. But the longest reception versus this defense doesn't scare me. If I had to go anything Darnell there, I'm going longest reception. I think I still like Bijan's receiving yards straight better, though. Moving on from the Miami-Atlanta game, no plays officially, but Bijan's close. Look, the deeper we get into the NFL season, honestly, the less edges I'm going to see versus my model, and that's probably the way shit should be, if we're being honest. He had 84% snap share after it dropping a little bit in back-to-back weeks. $19.5 at FanDuel or Rivers. I'm going to run Kamara. Tampa Bay is allowing the most receiving yards to running backs this season. Gibbs 82, Monty even at 18, McCaffrey 57, Barkley 31, Hall 31, Chubb 29, Bijan 100 piece. 84% snap share last week. Is Kendre Miller injured or anything? Kendre Miller is on IR. Okay. Let's run this right now. I'm going to FanDuel. Saints, Buccaneers 406. Receiving props. Player receiving yards. See all. 19.5, 114. Thank you. Nope. All right, good deal. We got that in. All right, cool. Moving on. Juwan Johnson, huge, huge start to the season. Finally got back a little bit last week. Don't hate any overs, especially if you think New Orleans is going to be in a negative game script. Also, why I kind of like the receiving better than the rushing for Alvin Kamara. What do you think of the Broncos defense that allowed 33 points to the Giants through 3 quarters and then 0 in the fourth? Your guess is as good as mine. CD looked good in his return. You know, he said he could have probably went the week before. I didn't believe it after last week. Now I kind of do. Pickens still got his 82. Again, I'm unsure of what to think of this Dallas defense. While I do know that I'm unsure of the Broncos defense. I'm sure the Dallas secondary isn't good. Cortland Sutton at 60.5 definitely gets my attention. Second most receiving yards allowed in the league, most rushing receiving allowed, most pass and rush allowed. Pass and rush. Where is that line? $263. FanDuel, the best number. Kind of liking a Bo Nix over his rush and receiving. Ooh, I'm kind of liking this too. Everybody's at 12. No 9s, no 10s, no 11s. Painted. Lean over Bo Nix, rush, and pass and rush yards. Nothing official there, nothing yet, but I do lean over Bo Nix 100%. Is this a revenge game for Javonte Williams? Wasn't he there last year? Was it last year? Yeah, he was there last year. A little bit of a revenge narrative there for Javonte. Ninth in rush yards allowed. Let's go see. Tracy with 46, Scattaboo with 60, Brees Hall with 59 on a shitty team. They held Saquon to 30. Najee had 28 before the injury. Marion Hampton 70. Torched week 1 by Jonathan Taylor with 165. I would leave a lean to the over here on Javonte Williams as well. Then I think I got to add Kamara and Scattaboo to the banner. My apologies. All right, good deal. Let's get that scrolling across the bottom and move on. Dobbins is a lean to the over as well. I do lean over both running backs. This game is hard for me because they're not very good defenses either way. I like both rushing yards over. I like Bo Nix even with his rushing yards over. Problem is I like Sutton, Lamb, and Pickens all to go over. Receiving yards. This one I'll have to circle back to and spend a little more time in, but I would imagine it's one of the higher totals this week. 50.5, highest total on the board. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'll circle back to this Dallas game. Maybe keep an eye out for the timeline. What time is this? 4:25. Yeah, don't be surprised if I add something here. Nothing yet. I want to try to get through all these games, so we're going to move on. But I lean over a couple different things there. Tennessee, Indy. I think Indy should run away with this one. At home, 14.5-point spread. Really the only thoughts, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I got nothing in this one. Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Only one Monday night game, too. Sweet, 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 sweet. Might be on something here. You don't think he gets up for specific games? You didn't watch the Jets play. 219.5 painted, and I mean painted, so there's no issue getting that number. 1.5, 110 over in 4-5. Aren't they like 21st in passing touchdowns allowed? Brissett 2, Flacco 2, Prescott 3, Daniels 2. Steelers do not have a good running game. Probably running this at Hard Rock, but there's several books playable. I think even the 131 at DK is good, 130 at ESPN is good, 110 at Novig's good, 105 at MGM is great, 110 at 105 at Hard Rock's great, 110 at MGM's great, 124 is really good, 115 is really good. Available everywhere. Hard Rock's best, MGM's second best, Rivers third best. Got it. Good deal. Let me get that to the banner, and then we will move. Keep moving. Every book I think is good. Definitely don't play it at Fanatics. That'd be like, that's the one. Don't. Just because the price. You do get that little bit of that first half exit, though. But DK's doing the same thing. So DK 131 still really good. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We went through the list of who they've allowed at verse. I just think he's going to be extra. He's going to be ready to go for this game. And I think Tomlin's going to make sure he has a good game. Lean over passing yards, but I do think passing touchdown is the look there. Also, I would lean over Love's passing yards, but teams have ran the ball well on Pittsburgh, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jacobs 66.5 is a better look than Love. On the Pittsburgh side of the ball, I would say I lean under slightly here with Jaylen Warren's 56.5. Huge day versus Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's god awful. Wouldn't expect that same usage out of him. Okay. Outside of Gibbs outside of that Lions game, they've done decent versus running backs out of the backfield, catching the ball out of the backfield. 169 is way too expensive. If that were like a minus 120, 125 line or something, we will look at his receiving yards, though, not just his receptions. Yeah, 180, 3.5 plus money. Yeah, we're good there. Let's go to receiving yards. 20, 19, 18. Everyone's between 18 and 21 on the receiving yards here. Go see something on the mobile app. Very ironically, Golden State, my head's on NBA. Green Bay has allowed the second most receptions to running backs this season, while also allowing the, second fewest receiving yards? 1 second. 10th fewest receiving yards. So I'm going to stay off of Warren here. I lean over the receptions. It's too pricey. They've been pretty good at preventing big plays after the running back gets the ball. So I don't see any value in his yards or receptions in this one. Wilson 40, Marvin Harrison 58, Chase 94, Higgins 62, Tolbert 61, Pickens $134. Negative correlation parlay, I think. Really good opportunity for a negative correlation parlay. DK under 4.5 receptions, DK over 54.5 yards or whatever you can get the best line at. I like that negative correlation parlay. Which means I like his reception long probably straight. 21, 22, I'm guessing. Let me see. Metcalf. 54 is the best line. 22, okay. Yeah, that makes sense as well. 35, 28, 34. Lean over DK Metcalf yards and longest reception while also leaning under receptions. Even 4 in that Jets game. Yeah, I would lean under DK's receptions here, lean over his yards. Not official on that. I do like the anytime touchdown with Rodgers throwing 2+ as well. I could see Rodgers going for 3. Let's go look at Kraft because I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh struggled versus the center. Yeah, 28th versus tight ends and receiving yards allowed. The most receiving yards in general, 28th versus tight ends. Are they supposed to be getting someone back from injury? Golden questionable. Yeah, Watson is actually questionable. If he comes back, that will eat up some targets. So we'll wait for the final injury report before we get active on that. But I do lean over, especially if, God forbid, Golden and Watson's been out. But if Watson's out again, could definitely see myself leaning over there. I saw Scary Terry was cleared to play this week, so I'm going to stay off of it, but I do lean over Debo. Maybe it's because I have him in fantasy. Might be a little biased. Travis Kelce, National Tight End Day. Let me see. I know they got everybody back, but I think that just opens up the field more for Kelce. Might like a Kelsey over here, and then we might call it a show. 42.5 painted. Yeah, I've got another show coming on in 30 minutes. 41.5 at some Canby books, but 42.5 painted. I guess 41 at some exchanges as well. Between 40 and 42.5. National Tight End Day. I mean, that price is fucking blasphemy. Rashid Rice came in last week and took 4 red zone targets from him. I think the yards and the receptions are way underblown, and that anytime touchdown is unplayable. Yeah, man, I think this has got to be my last play of the day. This is a Monday night game. I'll wait to make this official, but it'll probably be official. Kelsey over 42.5 receiving yards. All right, we're right at about an hour and a half. As I said, I'm doing another NBA show. That'll be coming soon. It's not live. That'll be released soon. So let me go. My apologies. Let me go over everything NBA and NFL today, and then we'll call the stream. Appreciate all the likes and the retweets too. Let me shout out to everybody. Shout out to Brian for the like. Appreciate you helping me grow the brand. Shout out James, Sosa, Woody, Money Making Ron, Troy, Night Fox, The Sharp Side, and Props.cash. Appreciate y'all helping me grow the brand, helping me grow the page. All right, for the NBA, I believe we have, what do we have in the NBA today? 2 plays, 3 plays? I've got Montez Buzales over 16.5 points. Play that maybe up to minus 130. I've also got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander under 7.5 assists. Just 2 official bets, 5-game slate. One of them's a blowout, so really 4. Possible ads may be Trey Jones assists over, Benedict Mathurin points over, Obi Toppin threes over. Those are my 3 leans in the NBA. For the NFL, we've got Jamar Chase over 85.5 receiving yards. I did ladder that up to 100. There's a write-up on my page. It's the pinned post if you want to check it out. Cam Skadaboo over 76.5 rush and receiving yards. That one's good to 82.5. Alvin Kamara over 19.5 receiving yards. That one's good to 22.5. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We laid minus 0.5. That one's good to minus 135 probably. That's going to wrap it up. A couple of leans. CMC over his receptions. I could see that being added. I like both Javonte Williams and J.K. Dobbins rush yards. I think that game will be a shootout. That might get added. That does it for me. In and out in an hour and a half. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Best of luck today. I will be back tomorrow at noon. I know it's cutting into that NBA time. It'll be mostly NBA focused, but I will bring anything I've added to the NFL to that show as well.